So I wasn't going to do a video today because, as you can already tell most likely, I'm sick and my voice doesn't sound good. However, Alex Day did his YouTube survey annual thingy bopper, and there are a few questions in there that I actually want to answer, so I'm going to do the 2013 annual Alex Day Naramon YouTube survey thingamajig. Question number 1. What is your biggest fear? Now, I actually kind of agree with Alex on this. There are two levels to this. There's your kind of almost inane fear that, like, really shouldn't bug you, but you're really irrationally afraid of it. And for me, there's several of these, but the one that's probably the biggest is that I will somehow manage, by the sheer ridiculousness of probability, to walk in front of like a bus at any given moment when I cross the street. Just like I'll be like, okay, I have checked all the directions like 3 times, and I step out, and then I just immediately assume a bus is gonna hit me. Ow! I hit my hands really hard. The second one is a more philosophical, more philosophical, deeper held fear. And for me, this is one that constantly comes up. It's one of those ones that you just can't help. Have you ever had one of those moments when you're trying to fall asleep and you just can't help thinking about this one thing? You really want to stop thinking about it, but you can't. And for me, that's what it would be like to not be. In other words, assuming there is no afterlife, which is something I will not get into. Assuming there is no afterlife, what is it like to be dead? Because not existing is something else entirely from not feeling. In fact, you can't. That's the point of not existing. You can't do diddly squat. So, my big, huge fear is oblivion. Question number 2. How did... Question number 2. How did you find out Santa wasn't real? I was never led to believe Santa existed in the first place. Like, when I was 3, which is my first, year that I have solid memory of, my parents blatantly told me Santa wasn't real, and that, anything written from Santa was just kind of traditional. Wow. Okay. Question number 3. Balls. Question number 3. What's the best idea you've ever had? Frankly, the best idea I've ever had was to just start writing, because apparently... best idea I've ever had was, quite honestly, just to start writing, because apparently I'm good at it. People like what I write, so... I'm not going to say any one of my, story ideas was my best idea. I'm going to say my best idea was to just sit down on a computer and start typing. It's worked pretty well so far. Question number 4. Oh god. Most embarrassing thing your parents have ever done, and this is one of the ones I really, really wanted to answer, because it's happening right now. My parents think it's cool to use me as a go-between. They're divorced, for those who don't know. My parents just gotten a divorce, and they live about 5 minutes from one another, and they're still trying to, well, at least my mom is still trying to kind of exert a bit of pressure on my dad to, do things. I honestly don't care about their motives, to be honest. It shouldn't bother me. But the thing is, they insist on not talking directly to each other, especially when they can use me as a medium. And a lot of the time it's not even on purpose. It's just like, so yeah, did you hear about, yeah, I'm like, I'll just start talking and something comes out and I'm like, I thought this was common knowledge and apparently it's not, and one side will get really pissed and the other side inevitably gets pissed because that's how relationships work. And then I'm just like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset anyone. Yeah. So, most embarrassing thing my parents have ever done is forced me to be the guide. They forced me to be the bearer of bad news, to use a cliche. It's really, really annoying. Seriously, stop. Question number 5. If you were only allowed to pick one career for the rest of your life, what would it be? See my answer to question 3. In other words, I'd be a writer. Because I love to write. It's what I do. It's what I do best. I'm good at it. I love to do it. It's fantastic. Fuck. Basically, it's my dream job. Anyway, that's about it. Alright, the final question of every YouTube survey is, who do you want to answer the survey next? I pick my friend Brandon Stetner and my friend Chris Ware. Alright, thank you all for watching, and I'm sorry about the cough and the swearing that resulted.